I'm gonna kind of sketch this out as if you guys were here in my office with the whiteboard. And as you know, inside ClickFunnels, there's different types of funnels, right? And there's a bunch of them. But when you go through the training, the 3.5 hour long training, you'll see that there's different funnels for different reasons, right? And we use different. People are always like, "What funnel should I use?" And it always comes back to like, "Well, what's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish?" There's different things out there, right? And so the core funnels that are inside of ClickFunnels, the first one is like an opt-in funnel, right? And this is the primary goal of an opt-in funnel is to build a list. And so usually it's 2 pages. There's your squeeze page, your opt-in page, where somebody's giving you their email address right here. They click submit, and the next page is usually like a thank you page that says, thank you so much for joining my list, right? And that's like the most simple funnel in the world. And people always ask me, well, Russell, can I make money with ClickFunnels without having my own product? And the answer is yeah. Like you make money online by having a list. Like that's kind of, hopefully at this point you guys kind of know that. If not, that's the big secret. That's how I've made millions and millions of dollars, is because I have a big email list and I focus on building it. And the way I build it is I have a squeeze page, I drive traffic through there, and then I have a thank you page. Okay. And that's kind of the process. And so that was what we covered week number 1 in detail, was really this how to do an opt-in page. Now, one thing that I kind of talked about in the training, and I don't know if I preface this enough, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit here, is that the one problem with this little process where they join my list and I thank them for joining my list is I'm not making any money here right out of the gate, right? I'm driving traffic in here, building a list, and I have to sell them stuff through email to be able to break even. And a lot of times when you're building a list, you're spending money to drive traffic in, right? And so what I talked about was after somebody comes through this funnel, is what I do is this thank you page is I transition it from just a typical thank you page. It's like, hey, thanks for ordering, and I change it to what I call a bridge page. I kind of talk about that a little bit on the 3-hour training, but I call it a bridge page, where I tell them thank you first off, but then second, I bridge them over to something else, somewhere else where they can go buy something. Because I want to make money, right? If I spend $1 on ads, I want to make at least $1 back out so I can break even, and hopefully more. And so what I do typically with here's my opt-in funnel. A lot of times I'll add a third step in here, which is I'm taking them now to somewhere where they can buy something. Okay. And so for a lot of you guys, this might be your own product. Some of you guys don't have a product yet, so it might be an affiliate product. It just kind of depends. So whatever makes sense for your business. So week number 1, that's what we talked about. If you were on that webinar, you know that we went on there, and what I did is first step was we found a product like this. We figured out the hook, and then from there we built out a squeeze page and thank you page, and that was kind of the process for week number 1, right? So that's kind of what, if you guys, if that's your focus, that's sort of kind of where to kind of go. Now, the next training we do, week number 2, we're gonna be focusing on a sales funnel. And so a sales funnel typically will kind of be similar sometimes. A lot of times we'll still lead with a squeeze page, okay, where they would get their name and their email address. Then from there, I take them over to a page where I'm going to sell them something. And a lot of times we'll do like a video sales page, right? But you can do whatever. So there's a page here where now we're going to sell them something. And then from there, a lot of times we're going to have upsells or downsells or whatever else you want, right? So say upsells. And then from there, you might have a thank you page where you give them what they just bought, right? So there's your sales funnel. So I'll write over here, opt-in. This is sales funnel. Okay. Now again, inside ClickFunnels, we give you guys kind of this basic framework. But as you'll see, and I'll kind of show you, you can really easily add more pages, take away pages. You can do a lot of things. Anything you kind of make up and dream up, you can kind of create inside of here. But so first is opt-in funnel. Second are our sales funnels. Actually, let me open up ClickFunnels so I can see exactly. The next one is, so we got opt-in, and again, guys, inside ClickFunnels, that's how it works. So opt-in funnels, sales funnels. And the cool thing is I made these little videos. I don't think anyone ever watches them, but if you want to see like, what's an opt-in page, you click on this, and there's a video of me really quickly kind of explaining it, right? Same thing with sales funnels, and we go on through there. All right. Trying to find my paintbrush broken. There we go. Okay. So next one are webinar funnels. So the webinar funnels, the way that a webinar funnel works is you got to find a third-party webinar service, right? So we use GoToWebinar. Some people use Webinar Jams. A lot of them out there. But basically, a webinar funnel is it's a webinar registration page. because most of the pages that GoToWebinar and other systems give you are really ugly. So we give you guys awesome pages, and then someone registers here, and then it sends off to GoToWebinar or whatever, and it subscribes them to the webinar, and then it pushes them back over to your own thank you page right here. Thank you page. So webinar funnel is pretty simple. It's just kind of, it's a front page and a back page to get somebody into your webinar. So that's one kind of funnel. The next funnel is auto webinars. And automated webinars are basically, you do your webinar once and you record it. And then what we do is we put it into an automated webinar funnel where now we can automate this whole process. So usually there's a registration page, then there's a registration page here, there's a thank you page here, and then there are, based on what they do, there's different things. Then you have like the actual webinar goes live. So there's your live webinar, and then there's like a replay webinar, and anyway, it's just another type of funnel, right? So automated webinar funnels. And then obviously we've got membership sites, product launch funnels, custom funnels. And so there's just different types of, there's different things, right? But these are kind of the core funnels that we use. Obviously, then there's a product launch funnel for number 5. And product launch funnel is, if you guys have studied Jeff Walker or any of the big product launch guys, the concept is usually you're trying to give people really good content before you launch a product. And so the way we've always done ours is there'll be like 3 or 4 videos. And so basically a product launch funnel is you've got 4 pages, and on page 1, you reveal video number 1, right? And usually there's like little previews of other videos up here. Then you do video number 2, and then there's video number 3, and then video number 4, you give them with like an add to cart button where they can now buy. And that's like what a product launch funnel kind of looks like. And then number 6 are membership sites. So membership site's not really a funnel. So a membership site, you can go and come back here on your thank you page, make your thank you page a membership site, or somebody purchases your product, you can tag a membership site on the back of anything if you want. And then custom funnels is basically you can make up anything you can kind of dream of. Okay. So there's different funnels for different purposes. And so for your business, you got to think like, what am I looking for? Am I selling a product that's basically anywhere from, a couple of dollars up to maybe $100? If so, then probably the sales funnel is going to be the one for you. If you're selling something that's more expensive, like $1,000 or more, usually like a webinar funnel is going to be better. Now, do you want to do your webinars live? If so, then a live webinar funnel is best. Do you want to do them automated? If so, an automated webinar funnel is best. So that's kind of the concept behind that, you guys, and how the different funnels inside ClickFunnels work. All right. And so that's why I said each week we're going to go through one funnel into a lot of depth and detail, so you can see how we set it up. And I'm going to show you the psychology and what I do and what other people are doing, so you just get a really good idea. And then after you got the framework, you understand that, then you can go into ClickFunnels and actually start building things out. Okay. Now the other one thing I wanted to mention, just so that conceptually you guys understand this, is in our business, and every business is different, and this may not be really 100% to you, but typically for most businesses, right, you go out there and you got to spend money to get customers, right? You're going to Facebook or whatever, and you're spending money to drive traffic. So we spend some money, we drive traffic, and we're driving now through some kind of funnel, right? And this funnel could look like anything. So I'm just going to write funnel. It could be a sales funnel, it could be a webinar funnel, it could be whatever it is in your business. But usually there's this first funnel and that we're trying to get somebody through, right? And so my goal with this always is I want to be able to put $1 into ads, and on the back end I want to be able to get at least $2, or at least, well, let me say $1 is good, but at least $1 back out. My goal is to try to break even, right? If I put $1 into ads, I want to get at least $1 back out. So I broke even. Okay, a lot of people say, well, Russell, if you break even, you don't make any money, right? And that's kind of how beginners look at a business. I remember when I first got in this business, I had a mentor, and I heard him speak on stage. His name was Mike Littman, and I remember he was talking. He said he was talking about his business, how it ran, and he showed this DVD. He said, "This is a DVD that I sell on my website." And he says, "Right now, I spend $30 to give away this DVD for free." And I remember thinking, I'm like, that guy's dumb. what's he thinking? He's spending $30 to give away a DVD. Like, how's it, like, the more DVDs you give away, the less money you're making, right? It's like this whole, and I remember like kind of I was confused. I'm like, why would he do that? And he came back and he said, you have to understand this concept. He said, amateurs focus on the front end. Amateurs focus on the front end. He said, just so you guys know, I pay someone $30 to give away a free CD, but then I call a person on the phone and I sell them a $25,000 package. And so for every free CD I give away, it costs me $30, but I average $600 for each one I give away. He said, so I'm not losing money. I'm putting $30 in and getting $600 back out. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. And so for you guys with funnels, I think it's important to start thinking about it that way. Okay, because that's why ClickFunnels is powerful. You're gonna be able to create lots of different types of funnels. And so for me, my whole goal is like my first funnel I have is just to break even. If I can break even, then what's happening? I'm building a list, I'm getting customers, all this really cool stuff's happening. Now, when I have these people, right? So let's just say here's my first funnel, and I'm driving people up here. Let me turn this red. I drive people up here, and I've got these people, right? So you got this person buys my product, and this person buys, and all these people are buying or they're subscribing, but they're being added to my list, right? Now, the cool thing is that after this is happening, and I talked on the first training about like the value of a list and how we're averaging over $1 per month per name. So our goal is to build this whole thing up, right? And I'm trying to do it at break even at least. And then after it breaks even, now I've got this whole list of people. So now I create my second funnel. Okay, so here's my second funnel. And all these people that have joined my list, I just send them to this funnel. And the coolest thing about this is because they're on my list, I don't have to put any money back in. And the only thing that happens is money pops back out the other side. And this, you guys, is where we win in business. This is how we start making money. Okay. So if you look at my business, my goal is to drive traffic to an initial funnel to try to break even so I can build a list. And then that list, I sell them the next thing, and everything I make, I keep 100% of it. Is that making sense? So that's why I have multiple funnels in my business. That's why I think everybody should have multiple funnels. When you watch the 3-hour training, one thing I talk about is a concept I call the value ladder. Okay, the value ladder looks kind of like this. Okay, where I'm trying to take somebody and I try to send them up the value ladder, right? So on the front end, I might have, whatever, a free book, let's say. So there's my free book, and they pay shipping and handling, they get the book. And then from there, I upgrade them to the next thing, which maybe is like a home study course. And then from there, I upgrade them to like, whatever. The next thing is the live event. And then from there, I upgrade them to coaching. And I send people up my value ladder, right? And for every business, it's different. If you're not in a coaching business, maybe you're in a supplement business, or maybe you're in a physical product business, whatever it is, the concept's the same. And so what I traditionally have is that each of these little rungs of my value ladder is a funnel. And so this first funnel, my goal is for me to break even. Then everything else that happens up this value ladder is just pure hard cash that I get to keep. Okay, does that make sense, you guys? So hopefully that kind of helps a little bit on the strategy and why you have different funnels. And so for you got to kind of figure out, well, what's my front end funnel? What's the best funnel to lead with to get somebody in that's got big enough mass appeal I can get a lot of people in and sell. And then from there, where do I transition? Okay, what's the next product that makes sense to sell to them? And then what's the next? And because everything after that, that's where you make your profit. Okay. So anyway, I hope that kind of helps. And again, I recommend you guys really diving into the video here on the homepage, because it'll go into a lot more strategy behind that. But I want you guys I hope that kind of helps kind of finalize everything for you. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into ClickFunnels, and I'm just gonna have some fun with this for a little bit because I want you guys to understand how to use it. Because as soon as you guys learn how to use this, I literally, it is so much power in your hands. For the last 10 years of my business, I have not been able to go and tweak something on my website. If I wanted to fix, like, the headline was wrong, or I needed to test something, or I had an idea, like, I literally, it was the worst thing in the world. I had to go and email 2 or 3 people, and they would try something and it would never work right, and I had to move. It was a nightmare for me. And I'm sure for a lot of you guys, you're probably in that same spot right now. And if not, you're probably going to be there soon enough. And so because of that, I want to help you guys to understand how to use this as a tool and kind of how to master it. Okay. All right. Cool. Now one thing I want to recommend you guys also, that I want you guys to become very familiar with and learn how to use, is my team for your stuff. So there's gonna be things I'm not able to answer live on the webinar, and if you can't use it, there's a little, but if you get stuck, there's a little question here, this little help box. Click on that. It'll come up. You can ask our support questions here, and they'll help you. You can browse articles, but we have I believe, honestly, the best support team in the industry running this help desk and everything. So if you have any questions or you can't figure things out, ask a support ticket or run through our articles. Right now, they're in the process of making videos and articles for everything you can dream of, so that you'll have access to those as well. If you get stuck on a page, you can take a screenshot of what's happening, and But definitely use our support. They're there for you. They're here to help make sure that your process is good. And as you know, as of right now, ClickFunnels has literally been live for maybe a month and a half or so. And so because of that, we're a young company, there's still going to be little issues and little bugs that pop up every now and then. And so first off, I ask you just to be patient with us as we're getting those things. Look at other companies we're competing against. They've been around for two or 3 years, and they only do opt-in funnels, and they still have bugs. Whereas we're pretty dang rock solid. We do 10 times as much as anybody else. But every once in a while, a little thing creeps up. So if you do find something like that, just be patient with us. Click on the help, let us know. And our turnaround time's been very, very quick on most of these things, getting the bugs out. So anyway, that's kind of, just want to preface that. All right, so here is everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and again, I'm not going to talk about how to build each of these pages because that's what we're going to be focusing on in each individual training. Like last week, we really focused on opt-in funnels. I mostly want to train you guys on how to do the editor. So I'm going to just create a quick fake funnel for you guys. I'm going to teach you guys how to become masters of this editor because it's so much fun after you learn how to do it. Okay. So this is how it works. I got my opt-in page, my thank you page. Those are the 2 pages in this funnel, very simple. And then the other thing, there's things you have to set up, right? You have to set up your autoresponder and things like that. All that happens under my account and settings. If you go there, you're able to set up all those type of things. So you usually do that initially when you first get started in ClickFunnels. So if you haven't done that yet, go into settings. Of course, when I'm live, the CSS isn't going to load. There we go. So like your account settings, you got your subscription billing here. If you're using SMTP, you can add it to here. And if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. It's not important. If you have an autoresponder, you can add them in here. If you're using payment, if you're using Infusionsoft or Stripe or Warrior Plus, any of these different systems, you can set up your payment things in here. If you want to set up a custom domain, so if you want, like for me, I've got clickfunnel.com, listhacking.com, all these different websites that's like, if you go to any of them, it looks like you can't tell ClickFunnels is there. It's a custom domain. So if you want your website.com, when someone goes there to have the ClickFunnels pages load, even though it's your own website, you do that through custom domains. And again, for me, the first time it took me a while to understand it. So we have instructions here how to do it. But if you get stuck, click on the help tab, and we got a team to help you with that. Digital assets if you want email, videos, and stuff like that. So that's all there inside of this the account settings tab. So that's one thing you typically do need to set up. All right, so let me come into the editor. So there's a bunch of pages here, but what I'm going to do right now, because I can show you how to edit a page, but that's pretty self-explanatory. Instead, what I want to do is I'm going to take a page, I'm going to delete everything and start over so you can see what it's like. Because for me, like I traditionally don't even use the templates anymore. You can use them, but you don't have to. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to pick this one right here. All right. Okay. So here's after you pick the thing. Now it's cool. You see the visitors, conversion rate, leads. You can set up split tests in here, which is cool. You can set up emails to go out. And again, those are all things that we'll cover in more detail in the other trainings. But just so you know, and so make sure you guys play with that. You also have like your squeeze pops here, instant opt-in. You can clone this page, a bunch of other things you can do. So right now, again, though, we're focusing on the editor. That's what I want to show you guys today for the most part. Okay, so again, this is the part you have to understand, and for those of you guys who aren't technical like I wasn't, it took me a little bit to get it because I just didn't really get it at first, but after I got it, it made total sense. So if you look at this page, every single page, there are basically 3 core things, right? The first you have are sections. If you click on the right-hand side over here, it says sections. If you click on that, it'll show all your sections, and if I scroll over, it'll show me what all the sections are. So I've got video section, opt-in bar, so I can see all my sections. Okay, now the other way I can see sections, if I hover over something, I look for it, and if it's outlined in green, do you see the green right there? That is a section. So I know that this is a section right here. This green here, there's a section right here. It's green. So if it's green, it's a section. Okay. So that's the first thing to understand. So typically, first you create a section. Then inside of the section, the second thing you add is rows. So if I click here on rows, I'll see here's all the rows inside of each section. Okay. So there's a column row here. There's 3 column row here. 1 column row here. Now, if I hover over here and it's blue, blue is a row. Okay. Over here, if it's blue, it's a row. If it's blue, it's a row. So first I build out a section, then I have to add the rows into each section. And then the last one here on the right-hand side, section rows. Oh, there's columns as well, which You can see the columns here. And then the last one is elements. So elements are all the things inside of it. So if you click on elements, you'll see all those right here. You can't see each individual one. And if I hover over it, if it's orange, then that's an element. Okay, so there's a headline element. There's a video element. Does that make sense? So if I'm building this, I start with like my section. So I have a top section, middle section, bottom section, right? Then in there, I add a row. And inside the row, I add my elements. Okay, and as soon as you understand that, everything gets really clear. And so if I go here, this yellow here, so here's a yellow element, or orange. And if I want to, I have a plus button where I can add another element, or if there's this little gear. If I click on this gear, it'll show me all the settings for that element. So if I know this headline, this headline right here, if I want to change it, I just click on the little gear. It shows me all the settings for that one. I can change the margins, the padding, the color, the text size, all the things I want right here inside of that. Same if I want to edit the row elements, I click on the blue and I click on the little blue gear, and here's all the things I can edit for the blue one. Does that make sense? And same thing for the section. I can go to section, click on the little hover on the little gear, and here's everything I can edit for that section. Okay. And then again, the other two things is if I hover over, there's this little thing that's got two little pieces of paper. If I click on that, it clones it. So now I got the headline again. So if I want to do that, so I'll delete it now. I can clone it if I want. Next thing is there's a little plus. So if I hover over the plus, I click on that, it'll pop up an element table, and here's all the different elements I can add to that page. I can add a pricing table, an FAQ block, custom HTML, Facebook comments, social shares, all these different things I can add here. So let's say I'm right here. Let's just say that I delete this video accidentally. I'm like, oh, I want a video underneath there. I just hover over it, click on the little plus, find video, click on that, double click on it, and boom, now the video is back. Okay, does that make sense so far, you guys? All right, Dane said, wow, so easy. Yeah, so as soon as you guys understand that's kind of the core concept, all right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start over from scratch. I'm just gonna delete all these different rows and sections, because this is how I like to do it. Now that I understand it, and kind of build out different sections. And you don't have to, you can just edit your stuff or add different things if you want, or you can just start over from scratch. Okay, so here's I got a blank template right now, right? This is there's nothing here. So first I got my section right here. This is the section it gives you by default. So notice the section only goes to the sides, and I don't really like that. So I'm gonna click here on the gear. It's giving me a whole bunch of options. The first is width. So right now it's on medium width. So if I go full page width, it'll take the whole page up. Wide, I can go medium, I can go small. So for me, I like doing full page. I have the background color. I'm gonna change the background from, so here's the color palette, so I can drag it around and change the color whatever I want. But then down here shows if it's invisible or not. So right now it's kind of invisible. So I'm gonna go all the way here in white. Check it out. Now my top section's all white. I can add a background image if I want. I can make my margins. I can do a bunch of stuff like that. So there it is. Now I got my top block. That's just this white thing. Now I'm gonna add a row in here. And so I can decide what I want to do. So I think for this example, I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna do like a video on the left-hand side, then an opt-in box on the right-hand side. So I'm gonna pick a right column sidebar where there's 2/3 on the left-hand side and 1/3 on the right-hand side. So I click that, and boom, now I've got it's kind of broken up where this side's got 2/3 of the page, this side's got 1/3. And I can do all sorts of stuff. I can do 4 columns if I want that. I can do 2 columns. Like pretty much, there's a bunch of different options you can pick from, or even 1 column block. I'm gonna delete all these though, because for this one I want to do that way. Okay, now on this left-hand side, I'm gonna click on Add New Element. I want to add a video. There's a video. Now, if I want to change the video settings, again, I hover over. I see the little gear. Click on that. I can change it. So let's say I want to say that video is too big. Let me see. Where are we at? Okay, down here. So video width. So at full width, so I can do 3/4 width if I want smaller, half width. Just gonna pick that. So I'm on it big. So I'm gonna do full width video here. I can embed the video. Like let's say it's a YouTube video. I click right here on pick a YouTube video. So I'm actually gonna let me do this. I'm gonna go to youtube.com. Let's do a President Obama. I won't comment on politics because I don't want to get in a fight with anybody. But we're making an Obama landing page. How's that sound? Okay. So I pick YouTube video here. I plug in my YouTube URL. I can make it autoplay if I want. Now I got this video right here. So if I save the page and I preview it, let me show you guys what it looks like so far. So there's our page. We got Obama hanging out with us.
My fellow Americans.
Okay, so there's the page so far. Now, so I got my video. Now let's say I want an opt-in block over here, something like that. So I got some of my things I can do. So I'm gonna add an element, probably add a headline at first. So I'll say something like, give me your best email address for some wicked, awesome stuff. Okay, so make it bold, but it's kind of too big. So I might mouse over and I look at the little gear, click on that. If I want, I can shrink the text size to like that better. So there's this. I'm gonna click on elements. I'm gonna add an image. So I'll click on image here. And I click on this little image block and it takes me over here. It says image URL. So there's a little plus sign. So I'm gonna click on that plus sign. And over here, you'll see here's all the images I've uploaded to my account. So I have tons of images here. So if you have images you want to put, you can put it in there, or you can come over here to stock images and there's a bunch of default ones in here, or there's icon finder. I wonder if they have anything like, so icon finder, there's a free service in here where you can search and it'll try to find icons on something. Okay, okay, so there's, oh, cool. So I typed in president and there's a free president looking icon. So I'm gonna click on that and it's gonna add it to my account. Now, I don't know if I would really do this if I was designing a site, but there you go. Now I've got this little president here, right? So there's my icon. Now, one thing I'm kind of picky on, see how close like the head is to this underneath it? Kind of drives me crazy. I like having a little space. So I'm gonna come back here to the image, click on the little gear, and make my margin a little bit bigger. So then, oh, there, much better. So he gives a little space underneath his head. So there you got my headline. I got a picture of the president. Then I need to add my opt-in forms. Click on that, and I gotta find input form. There you go. I want a little more space though, so I'm gonna get a little more space. And then enter your info here. I'm gonna have enter your email address here. Okay, so I got that form there. Now I need to add a button. So when they give me their button, or when they click on it, so there's my button. And notice, see again, it's right on top of it. I don't like that. So I click on this right here and I click on the gear. I give myself a little bit of a margin. Oh, much better. Give me the phone number. So there's my call to action, right? Give me the president's phone number. Now the button's kind of weird looking. So what else can I do? I can add subtext if I want. So yes, I will really get it for you. So there's the text now. Again, I can change the size of the button. So let's say I want a small button, or let's say I want a huge button. You can make it look any size you want. So I'm probably gonna do extra small for that one. That looks kind of cool. I can change the width. I can do some styling. I can do a bunch of stuff. But one of my favorites is icon. I love doing icons. So I'm gonna click on icon here, and I can make like a little right arrow. I can do a down arrow, or I can do a bunch of stuff. So I can do a checkbox, shopping cart. So I like doing the arrow or the chevron. I like those. Okay. So now I got a little page, right? So let me save it again. I'll preview it, and we're getting closer to now having a cool page, right? There's a video with an opt-in block over there. Okay, so what else can I do? Let's say that I want this block to like have some coloring behind it. So what I'm gonna do, and this one's a little harder because like I can't just click on something to get this the column just by hovering over it, you know. So I have to actually come over here to the right hand side. It says columns. I click on that. It'll show me all the columns. So left hand column, right hand column. Now if I click on that, it'll go and show me all the settings for there. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the background color so there's something behind that. So I'm just gonna make it black, but then make it, I'll go really dark. Okay, that's kind of cool. I need some padding on top and some padding on bottom. Maybe a little bit on the sides. That looks a little better. Move that down a little on the page. Radius is if I want the edges rounded, so I can make it, ooh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's cool. More rounded edges. I can do a border if I want. All right, that's kind of cool. Cool, I like that. The only thing I don't like is the headline now is black and it's not that good. So I'm gonna hover over it, click on the little gear. Now I'll change the text color from black to maybe white. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Okay, I'm gonna save that. And let me preview this page again and we'll see what it looks like. Yeah, that's looking cool, right? All right, so I got the page right there. So what else do I want to do? So let's say I want a headline up above. So unfortunately, there's not a plus sign on top of it. So I'm going to go underneath here. I click on the plus. I'm going to add a 1-column block for my headline. So now there's a new element. But I want the element above it, right? So I'm going to do is I come over here to the side. And there's two ways. One you can do is you can grab it, drag it, and drop it up. But I like doing this as well. I'll come over here to the rows. I click on it. And it'll show me all the different rows, right? Highlight them over. If you look over here, there's this little arrow. If I grab the arrow, I can drag that right to the top. And boom, now that element's on top. If I move it back down, I can just grab it. Now it's stacked down below. Now it's back up on top. Okay, so I have an element here. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to change the headline. So I can change the headline. Do you want Obama's phone number? Okay, so there's my headline. But I want to make that bigger. So I click on the little gear. I'm going to make the size huge over here. Even bigger. Even bigger. How big can we go? Yeah, that looks cool. So now I got who here wants President Obama's phone number. I can save that. All right. Is this cool, you guys? You having fun so far? Someone said that they want, yeah. I love your guys' feedback. This is cool. All right, cool. Someone said, can I make the edges around the video rounded? I have no idea. Let's try. I don't think you can, but I've never tried before. No, it doesn't look like you can. Okay, a couple other cool things you can do, like let's say I wanted to add like an order button underneath this, right? Now, I obviously wouldn't because I'm not going to add an order button here, but just so you can see the concept. So let's say I have my add new elements button here. I add a button. Now I've got a button here, right? Buy the entire White House for just $50 here. All right, I'm going to make, so there's that. My subtext can be like, oh yeah, just $50 for the whole thing. Okay, so there's my sub headline. And then I come down here, I'm going to add, I love doing the icons. I'm going to add my little arrow to the right. So now I got my call to action, right? So there's my button. But maybe I don't want this button to show up until President Obama drops the bomb about how cool something is, right? So I come back here to this button, I can hover over it. If you scroll down here, there's two cool things. One is called time delays. One is called animations. Okay, so I'll show you the animation first. So let's say it's animation. I can say on page load. Have this, let's see, have this fade from the top at 500 milliseconds, okay? So I'm going to save this. Now when I refresh this page over here, watch what happens to the button because it's going to like magically appear, okay? Boom, see the button drop down? So you can animate all your buttons. You can have the video drop down. You can have, like, I can literally come in here and let's come to video. And if I want to make this animation, I can have it animation where it fades from the left. I can have this. Yeah, so let me show you what this looks like. So now I can refresh this. Now the video should pop in from the left and the button should come in from the bottom. Yeah. So you can do stuff like that if you want. You can have different animation. You can have it so when you're on the page and you scroll down. Like, for example, if you saw how we did on, let me pull up clickfunnels.com. So if you look at clickfunnels.com, one of the cool things we did is you can have the animations come in while you're scrolling. So, okay, so as I scroll down, watch, things will start flying in while I scroll down. Boom, that flew in. Okay, so you can set it to fly it as you scroll, which is kind of cool if you want those kind of cool things to happen. So that's how you do the animation stuff. It's kind of fun. The other one, though, that I personally like better, I'm not a big animation fan, so I'm going to get rid of that animation here. And down here, I'm going to get rid of the animation as well. But what I do like personally is I like this whole, it says time delayed. So I can say, have this button fade in, but don't have it fade in until the 1 minute mark, right? Or I have it fade in at like the 15-second mark, right? So typically you use that. Let's say you have a sales video and you don't want the order button to appear until you reveal the price. You can push that out. So say, okay, have this order button appear, but not until whenever that, for 16 minutes and 22 seconds. So I'll just do 15 seconds here. I'll push play. I'll come back to the page. I refresh it, and you'll see 15 seconds from now, the button should appear.
My fellow Americans, tonight I'd like to talk with you about immigration. More than 200 years.
It's been 15. There you go, 15 seconds. Now the button popped up. Is that awesome, you guys? Do you like that so far? Okay, so there's that. So they're not. I got this page, which is pretty cool, right? So I'm gonna delete this button because I don't want this right now. But let's say you want one of those cool ones where the background's got a picture, right? So I'm gonna hover over here. Again, this is gonna be for the section, right? So section is green. Click on the little green button here. And then come here to background image. Click on background image. I can go try to find a really cool picture. So, and again, if you have a picture, you can upload it or whatever. I'm gonna see if I have one already uploaded. I can just use. Oh, here's the one for ClickFunnels. So if I want, there's the background for ClickFunnels. Now that's my background on my webpage. All of a sudden, refresh it and check it out. I spelled a bomber wrong. Doesn't that page look awesome now? Anyway, so now I got a really cool looking page. Okay, it's pretty simple and pretty easy. All right, so the next thing I can do is to come down here, and I've got this is all happening in one section. So maybe I want to add another section. So I'm gonna click right here. I'm gonna click this little plus button. It'll create a new section. And notice by default it's kind of small. So I'm gonna click on this this little gear, and instead of making it small, I'm gonna make it full page. I like the full page better. And maybe I want borders on the top and the bottom. So click on borders, top and bottom border. Now I've got kind of a border here, you can see. And maybe I want the background to be different. So I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna make the background color maybe more, ooh, that's kind of cool. Maybe like a bluish, a little bit lighter though. That's kind of cool. In fact, I like that blue a lot. So if I like this blue, I can click on it. And here's the number code for that. So I'm gonna copy this. Then come back here to my button. I want the button to be the same color as the other blue. So I click on that, and I change the button color. Just gonna paste that over. Now that button's the same color as down here. Of course, I might want to make the text more black now if it's gonna be. There you go, cool. All right, so I got this block down here, and then I can do whatever I want down here. Let's say I want to do a 3-column block. Maybe the first column here. So I got a 3-column block now. So maybe I'm gonna push first element. I'm gonna add an image here. I click on the image and look at all my images. What images do I have that'd be cool? So it could be a testimonial. So for one of mine, I've got like a Tony Robbins testimonial. So maybe I'll plug that in, or actually I'll do this. This will be, well, let's see what I got. What can I make this cool? I'll use Simon. So here's Simon's head. So I'll plug Simon's head in here. And it's huge, right? It doesn't look that good. So I click on this. I click on this little gear. Okay, what elements do I have? Well, I can turn this into a circle. Yeah, that's cool. That looks better. But it's kind of big. So let me shrink the image width. So maybe I'll make it 200. Okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll make it a little smaller. Maybe make it 150. Okay, let's see. What else? What other options? Oh, border. I'm going to add like a border. Oh, sweet. That looks awesome. So I got a border here with Simon. So maybe I can add a little headline. So I'll add a little plus. And then I can drag this and move it above Simon's head and say, Simon got his phone. If I can type right. So Simon's got his phone number. So I click on that. And click on the editor. I'll make that a little smaller. All right, cool. Oh, I don't like how his head's right underneath it. So I'm going to go click on his head. Let's give it a little bit of a top margin here. Oh, that looks cool. Okay, so I'm going to add my next picture in here. I'm going to add another image. Is this fun for you guys? Like this is why I can't sleep at night. All I want to do is build funnels. Like I feel so awesome. Because Liz's picture, it's too big though. So I'm going to click on the little gear. I'm going to make it a circle. I'm going to add a little border to it. I'm going to shrink hers down to 150. Okay, cool. I'm going to take this little headline here. I'm going to clone it. So now there's 2 of them. I can drag it and drop it over here. Liz got his phone number. Clone it again, drag it over here. Click on the plus so I can add another image. Who else's picture do I have? That'd be cool. We'll add Stanzik's. We'll add Mike's here. Radius, so circle, border, and image width, 150. Cool. Need to add a little padding up here, top of his head. Same with Liz's. All right, now I got my testimonials underneath there. Now, one thing is there's tons of space here. I don't like all the space on top and bottom. So I'm not sure if it's on the blue or I think it's on the green. So I'm gonna click on the little green gear. Yeah, it shows me there's 40 pixels on top and 40 pixels on bottom, which is way too big. So I'm gonna shrink it down to like 50. Oh yeah, it looks way better. Take down 0. Okay, cool. That looks way better. So I'm gonna save that. Now if I refresh this page, what does it look like? All right, cool. So now we've got Obama coming in, opted for his email or his phone number. Here's testimonies of other people that got his phone number already. It's turned into a cool page, right? Can you guys see how I do this though? Like it literally, you guys can kind of build however you want. Okay, someone asked how does the pop-up feature work? Cool, I'll show you that. So let's say for example you want to kill this, right? So I want to get rid of this email field. I want them to, when they click on this button, to have a pop-up come up. So I have that. And down here in the left-hand corner says show pop-up. If I click on that, it shows what's going to pop up. So I can do the same thing here. Is I start creating it. So I create a row. So I'm going to do 2-column block, let's say. Left-hand side, I'm going to add an image. Let's see, do I have any Obama images? No, but I'll do this presidential one. Right-hand side, I can come and add a headline. Obama's phone number. Free today. Okay, I'm going to make that bold. I'm going to shrink it down. Add in right here my input form. Click on this. Add my little button here. Send me the phone number. So that way you can do like a 2-step opt-in if you wanted. So there you go. And same thing, I can add background images. There's a ton of other things you can do on the pop-up. That's just kind of how it works. I can edit it real quick in there. And then if you want pop-up settings, underneath the pop-up, there's a little button that says edit pop-up settings. Click on that and open up all these things for the pop-up. So all the margins. So I can shrink the top margin if I want. Bottom margin, left and right. I can squeeze it in or shrink it out. I can show how far I want to pop up. So if I want higher on the page when it pops up or lower on the page, you can tweak that around as well. Probably put it right in the middle-ish. And yeah, that's how that part works too. And there you go. Now my pop-up's in place. Now if I do a pop-up, if I want when I click on this button for that thing to pop up, I got to click back here on the button and come over here to URL actions and see this little tic-tac-toe sign. I'm not sure if you can see it. If I click on that, it'll give me a bunch of options. So I want to open pop-up. If I click on that, now it'll open the pop-up. So I come back and I save it now. And I refresh this page here. Now you notice when I click on this right here, boom, there goes the pop-up. It's ready to get my name and email. Isn't that awesome, you guys? Like I feel like a ninja. Like this would have taken me literally probably a week to get one of the designers to do this. And it would have been like, no, change it. No, do a different background. No, that one's ugly. Do something different. Well, now I literally go here and just play with it, and it just turns out really, really cool.